Sniper 4567 here with the Attitude Era episode 17. This is WWF In Your House Unforgiven. So this was in the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina, and a very big crowd of over 21,500. So yeah. So the pay-per-view itself wasn't that great, really, if I'm being honest with you. Couple of decent matches, like the Triple H match wasn't too bad. Tag match was decent. Main event was okay, and obviously the Inferno match was obviously the main match of this card. It was okay, it was good, but it was not really a great match on the card if you want to go that far. So yeah, so we'll get on with it, shall we? The first match is Faarooq, Steve Blackman, and Ken Shamrock defeating the Nation in an okay 6-man tag match. Nothing really special about this match, if I'm being honest. With you there now. Ken and Steve and Faarooq mocked the Nation's pose basically at the start. Rocky sucks chants from the crowd, and then we get on with the match. So nice snap suplex from Dito, but then misses an elbow, and Blackman takes control. Shamrock goes for the ankle lock, but Dito gets to the ropes. Faarooq gets the tag, spinebuster Faarooq, and then Faarooq whips Dito with his belt, and then a slam. Then a snap suplex then from Blackman. Henry with 2 backbreakers then on Blackman. Obviously Blackman is in this match throughout the majority of the match. Crossbody gets 2 for Blackman. Powerbomb then from Dito gets 2. Running power slam from Henry. Inside cradle gets 2 for Blackman. Rock then with the people's elbow. Dito misses a top rope moonsault. Faarooq gets the hot tag and clean toast. Rocky then with a sweet DDT that gets 2 on Faarooq. Faarooq then with a dominator on the Rock, and that gets the win. So okay match, to be honest. Crowd were dead throughout most of the match, besides the Rocky sucks chants. That was really about it. So yeah, star and a half I'll give it. That's the most I'm preparing to give it. So yeah. So next we have, then Austin actually comes to the ring. Basically goes to the Timekeeper, says, if Vince asked you to ring the bell last week on Raw, Austin said if you ring the bell he will kick the crap out of him. Basically he has a choice: either ring the bell and get your ass kicked, or don't ring the bell or get fired, basically. So basically Austin giving them the fear of death, the fear of God in them, basically. So don't know why they had that. They could have had it on maybe the Heat or whatever they had on before that. They could have had it on the pre-show or whatever. So don't get that really. Next match then is Triple H defeating Owen Hart to retain the WWF European title. Good match, decent match, 3 stars I give it. The stipulation for this match, again, like they had one at WrestleMania, obviously with China being handcuffed to Sergeant Slaughter. This time she will be locked in a cage that will be hung kind of about 15 to 20 feet, not over the ring, but kind of towards the aisleway. Starts on the outside, and then they fly up by the stage. Owen rams Triple H into the cage before it gets raised. Owen then with a suplex onto the concrete. Owen drops Triple H on the guardrail. Backbreaker then also from him. Triple H drops Owen then on the turnbuckle. Nice high knee from Triple H. Suplex, and then another knee drop gets 2. Nice clothesline gets 2, and then a sunset flip from Owen. Pin, I should say, from Owen gets 2. Swinging neckbreaker gets 2 for Triple H. Owen Hart goes shoulder first to ring post. Face buster from Triple H gets 2. German suplex then from Owen, that gets 2. Chelsea. Oh my god, China. I don't know why Chelsea are on my brain. I don't know. China bends one of the bars of the cage, kind of gets it open. Inseguri gets 2 for Owen. Spinning heel kick gets 2 as well, and then a pile driver from Owen. Diving elbow from the top rope from Owen. And China basically gets out of the cage and kind of is swinging from the cage. She eventually just drops, and basically nice DDT from Owen, and then gets the sharpshooter. China gets down thanks to the road dog lower in the cage. Owen then with a pedigree. X-Pac comes in, hits Owen with the fire extinguisher. Triple H covers Owen, and that gets the win in what was a good match. Again, Owen Hart is getting screwed. Michael Cole interviews him after the match, and basically this is where he's starting to kind of go heel, saying enough is enough and it's time for a change. Obviously, you know this is the heel turn, kind of starting to become the heel turn. So obviously he joins the Nation kind of in a couple of weeks after this, and then we get the New Midnight Express defeat the Rock and Roll Express in a shit match. I don't know why they brought back the NWA in this kind of. I just don't get it, to be quite honest. Like, don't think there's actually been a match that's been over 2 stars from an NWA point of view. It's just that should have shown WWF I think this is what the 4th or 5th month now since they've had NWA in the WWF. Kind of their lads having their matches. I think the most was a star and a half. Like, that should fucking tell you, WWF. I just don't get it. Cornette comes to ring, does promo, says people still think the Rock and Roll Express are the best tag team in NWA history. Then he goes, well, we're going to change that. This match basically is poor. Can't be arsed talking about it. Jim Cornette and Tim White, sorry, they go at it basically. The ref goes to punch me, he runs away, which was fucking funny. The crowd don't give a shit. That was about it basically. The referee got some fucking ovation. The Midnight Express get the win thanks to a bulldog, basically. So crap, half star. I'm being probably a little bit generous over that, probably a little bit too. Next then, Luna defeats Sable in a crap evening gown match, basically, and not even giving it a dud. I haven't rated this match one bit because it was only on for what, 2.5 minutes. The crowd were into it, but was not a surprise really, because obviously Mero distracts Sable, that gives Luna the win, and after then Sable bomb to Luna, and then she strips Luna basically. They go under the ring basically. Sable basically Luna's basically nude under the ring, and obviously Goldust gives Luna his robe and all that blah blah blah. So I didn't rate that match because there's nothing there to rate really. Then we see Mr. McMahon coming to the ring. He says there's talking about the conspiracy that's going on, saying that I'm going to screw Austin off the WWF title. He says it's nice to be home since he was born in North Carolina, or as he called or as what he says, North Carolinian. I won't be held responsible for Austin screwing Austin, basically. So again, they could have had this on the pre-show. Yeah, I just don't get why they don't have these things on a pre-show. Like this. Excuse me. That took a little while. Apologies for that. So yeah, I just don't get that really, to be quite honest. So yeah, the new Age Outlaws then defeat LOD 2000 to retain the WWF tag titles. A decent match, like 2 stars, maybe a little overrated that one, but I did kind of like the match. Billy Crotch drops Sonny basically, or chops or whatever. Nice clothesline from Animal gets 2. Power slam from Hawk and Road Dogg. Diving elbow then from Hawk. Backdrop then also from him. And a double elbow gets 2 for Animal. Lauder is still talking about the evening ground match. Fuck off, you dirty old perv. Power slam gets 2 for Animal on Road Dogg. LOD then go for the Doomsday Device, but Gun chop blocks Animal. Gun rams Animal's leg into the ring post. Road Dogg works on the knee of Animal. Gun go with the famous, so that gets 2, which is obviously not called the famous at the time. Hawk with a slash from the top rope, and Gun hits Hawk with the belt, and Animal with a suplex, but obviously Animal's shoulder is down. So the Outlaws get the win. Kind of controversial, and after the match then Sonny goes low on the ref and they do the Doomsday Device to the ref. So bit of a controversial end to the match, but 2 stars I'll give it. Probably overrating it, but thought it was a little bit more decent than some of their other previous matches. So there you go. Then we see Tennessee Lee basically announcing WWF Concert. Who gives a flying fuck? Who else was with him? Who was he with? Sawyer Brown. Who gives a fuck about... I don't get with this with WWF or /E. Why the fuck did he have concerts at wrestling? Like, only time they should ever have a concert is WrestleMania. Full stop. If they're going to have 1 or 2 bits of music, have it at WrestleMania. Don't be having them at fucking, like, pay-per-views that, like... just don't get it really. Yeah, it didn't last very long. Steve Blackman came out to interfere, but he gets a guitar to the head and then basically Jared basically gets on the figure 4. But like, why do that? Like, I still don't get why they do this concerts. Like, I just don't get it. Like, if they wanted to put some time, they could have gave or they could have put another decent. Actually, no, I'm trying to think. They could have had another match. They could have had another match. They could have actually had a what the fuck? Actually, they could have had a light heavyweight title match. Taka could have defended it against Ocular or whoever else was in the company at the time. So I just don't get it. Next up then is the Undertaker defeating Kane in a good Inferno match. Now, it's obviously the first ever Inferno match. First match obviously in WWF in terms of fire. I was interested by this match obviously because there's only so much you can do with an inferno. Obviously, you can't set a whole human being on fire. So like it was interesting to see how someone would be set on fire throughout this match. So Kane, Undertaker were old school, and Kane. Paul Bearer gives Kane a chair, and obviously Kane hits Taker right in the skull with it. Then Kane, obviously then with some fire jokes really, which obviously added to the match. Russian leg sweep by the Undertaker, then a leg drop, and Kane sits straight back up. Kane with a chokeslam. Taker comes back with a chokeslam. Kane sits right up again, but both hit each other with big boots. Taker misses a flying close and nearly sets himself on fire. Kane goes to the top rope, but Taker shakes the ropes. Taker then with a superplex on Kane. You can see the fire rising up, which was cool. Undertaker throws Kane over the top rope. Obviously Kane does obviously don't land on the fire. Kane goes to sleep, but Vader attacks him. He comes out. Vader comes from the back, so obviously coming back after what happened to him at No Way Out. Obviously Vader getting his nose broke. He attacks him. Taker does his flying plancher. His WrestleMania plancher onto both of them. Paul Bearer then hits Taker with a chair. Obviously Taker doesn't affect Taker, so Taker gets the chair and hits Kane twice in the skull. Taker then stalks Paul up the stage way. And Taker hits Paul then with a drum. And then Taker big boots Kane and his arm goes into the fire. And then he obviously runs backstage. So that gets the win for Taker. So obviously it wasn't that much of fire. We don't know how much. Like he basically ran backstage, so obviously it wouldn't have affected him. But still, it was a pretty decent match. 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed this match. A lot of people might think I think 3.5 stars. It's because it's the very first kind of match of a new match. It was a new match basically, and I really enjoyed it. But obviously, it wasn't as good as their match at WrestleMania, nowhere near. But so yeah. Next match then with the main event. Stone Cold is Dude Love defeating Stone Cold Steve Austin by disqualification in a good match. 3.5 stars. Nothing special though. Austin gives the ref the title and Dude Love attacks him from behind. Lufaz press from Austin, elbow then from Austin, and then Austin rams Dude into the guardrail. There's a bit of a brawl at the start. Austin and Dude fight up by the stage, and all the matches actually were fought up by the entranceway. Actually, to be honest, I think about 2 or 3 of them. Austin with a power slam on the stage. Austin hip toss Dude off the stage onto the floor, basically the stage of where the concert was on. Austin then with a clothesline. Austin then drops Dude on the guardrail again. Dude Love then with a bulldog. Vince comes to the ring with Patterson and Jerry Briscoe. Vince nods at the Timekeeper. Basically, obviously, it looks like he's going to screw Stone Cold. Dude with a roll up, that gets 2. Austin rams Dude's leg into the ring post. He does that at least 2 more times. Then he rams Dude's arm into the ring post. Austin then goes for a pile driver, but Dude backdrops Austin onto the floor. Austin steps up. Austin attacks him from behind. Vince tells the Timekeeper to ring the bell, obviously, but the Timekeeper doesn't see it. Austin then suplexes Dude onto the steps. The ref then gets bumped. Dude gets the Manimal Claw. Austin then gets a chair basically, and Vince is beside the Dude, and basically he gets the shot right to the skull. Austin then gets the stunner on Dude, and he gets the referee to count to 1, 2, 3. And then obviously after the match, then Jerry Briscoe goes to Howard Finkel and obviously reverses the decision. So obviously Dude Love wins, but obviously he doesn't get the title because reasons being he hit another WWF official. So and Vince lives on a stretcher. So yeah, overall a decent match. 3.5 stars I'll give it. So overall the pay-per-view itself wasn't particularly great. Wasn't a couple of decent matches on the card at best really. I'd give it a 6.0. I'm probably overrated. Yeah, could give it a 6.0. So next episode of the WWF Attitude Era will be obviously Over in Your House Over the Edge, which will be done in about 2 weeks. So this will probably be my last video in this house because I'm eventually finally going to move this Saturday coming. Hopefully that's when we're supposed to be getting the date. I'm supposed to be getting the date, so hopefully I might not be able to do videos for a little while because I have to wait for obviously the internet connection to be put in. I don't know when that's getting put in yet, so I might not be able to do a video for about. So that I'm actually doing this video actually on a what day is it today? I'm doing this video on a Sunday, which is obviously 6 days before I even move. So I won't be uploaded. So this video might not be uploaded until maybe even a week. It could be 3 or 4 days after I should have aired this on, but I said I'd get it done, so at least I'd have it ready for the new, from when I'm doing the new house. I'll have Raw on Tuesday, so that'll probably be my last official video from this house. So then hopefully my first new video could either be Raw in the new house, Raw, or another random pay-per-view. So other than that, so yeah, so 6.0. I would avoid watching this show, really, to be honest, but if you want to watch it as a part of a collection thing, you might as well do so. So yeah, so this was the Viper 4567. Please subscribe, like, comment, and we'll talk to you guys in the next video. So take it easy.